All right, while you guys are, the reason why we're all here is for a workshop called Target Marketing, Targeting the Perfect Client. So thank you guys for all being here. This is our first event through a ProEnity and YBMW collaboration, which I'm happy to announce that this event is actually being held virtually, but in the building, the lab, which is owned by YBMW. So I'm very happy about that. If you've been following us on Facebook, you know all the time and energy that I put into getting this this establishment set up and everything. So we're really happy to be able to host this event from this location. All right. So who is this for? Facebook ad marketers, Facebook group admins, new businesses, established businesses, people thinking about starting a business, salespeople, real estate agents, Joaquin Cruz, real estate agents. This workshop is to help you be able to create and identify and be able to find your target market, to be able to communicate with them in a way that they feel comfortable and they are willing to be able to purchase from you, all right? The benefits of target marketing. I named a couple of them, but with a lot of people who are trying to market their product and brand their product, a lot of the people don't understand that if you don't know your customer, that's where you fail. You might know who your customer is, but do you actually know your customer? Do you know them enough to be able to empathize with them, to be able to relate to them, to be able to know where they hang out, digitally and physically? Can you appeal to them? Do you actually attract them, or are you chasing them? You know, that's the difference between knowing your customer and knowing who your customer is. And that's what we're gonna work on today. All right. So listen before you act. So I want to tell you real quick about a client that I had about a year ago. They were in the cosmetic field, and they worked with lip gloss. So they released and they started off with 3 different lip gloss in their line. They had a cherry lip gloss, a blueberry lip gloss, and a clear lip gloss. Now their clear lip gloss was selling off the shelf. They were selling thousands of them in their first month of business, which was great. But their other 2, the blueberry and the cherry, were not selling. I think they sold maybe about 10 a piece. I'm gonna average that out. So she wanted to pull them off the shelf completely. So before she did so, we had that conversation. And I said, well, let's try this. Send out a survey to the people that purchased the cherry and blueberry lip gloss, and let's see what they say. They all responded the same way. As sticky. It makes my lips feel sticky. I don't like it. So we took that information and we said, what's the difference between the clear lip gloss, which was banana flavored, and the cherry and the blueberry? And we found that the clear lip gloss did not use the ingredient that caused the coloring pigmentation that the other 2 did. So we figured, hey, let's pull that ingredient out and find a way to substitute it into the other 2 to where they still hold the color that they're supposed to have, but they don't stick. So then after we did that, she sent out an apology to each of those customers that bought it, let them try the new ones, and asked for testimonials. And all of them loved it. And she was able to use those testimonials in order to attract new customers. So I tell you this story to tell you that a lot of business owners, and myself included, especially when I first started, I made a lot of actions without knowing or even listening to my target audience. I assumed that I knew what they wanted, when you really have the ability to reach out to them at any time. It's a simple concept, but a lot of people don't do it. All right. So let's move forward as soon as this lets me. Okay, so what we're doing here in this course, we are going to define your ideal client, a client that you would love to do business with. You're not going off clients that existed before. I mean, you can use them, as a reference, but you're actually creating what we call a customer avatar. You're defining who you want to work with. If you could put together a perfect person that will be the perfect client for you, that's what we're going to define right here, because that person does exist. All right. All right, so we're going to give that client a life, a name, a demographic. We're going to give that client feelings, hopes, goals, determinations. We're going to give that client pain points. We're going to give them everything that a real person has. We're actually going to create that person. And that is going to be who your target market is. And I keep getting ahead of myself. That's going to be your target market. All right. The first thing that we're going to do in creating this person is their demographic. All right, you're going to get very detailed into this person. First thing that I like to do is give that person a name. And when you talk about your target market, or when you talk about this avatar, never address them by them or my perfect client or anything. Address that person by their name. Start calling them their name. You know, pretend it's a real person. So mine is Amanda. I got so detailed into creating this character that I actually said, hey, what year is she born in? 1983, her age is 37. And I actually Googled most popular names in 1983 for a woman, for a stay-at-home mom who works part-time. And Amanda came up. So that's what I named her. That's how deep I like to get into actually creating my avatar. So like I said, I gave her an age, her marital status, her number, the number of children, the ages, where she lives, does she rent or does she own, income range, education level, occupation, and other traits that might be specific to her. She has 3 children. My wife, Helen, we have 4. And I know a pain that she goes through is she rarely has 2 hands free. She always has somewhere to go. And oh, I forgot to tell you, the business that I'm creating this avatar for is an auto repair shop. All right, so that probably makes more sense when I'm explaining this here. So she needs to get her vehicle fixed, but she's always inconvenienced by how long it takes for the vehicle to get fixed. I'm an auto repair shop and I'm defining this avatar here. All right. And everyone should have gotten the worksheet. If you don't, let me know. Send a message, because after you finish this, you can work on the worksheet at home yourself and build up your avatar as well. So I meant to say that in the beginning. All right. So I talked about how I was an auto repair shop in this example. So you also have industry specific demographics. So depending on what industry you are in, you might have to add industry specific demographics, because it might not fit in a general avatar creation template, which is what I sent you guys all. All right. So being an auto repair shop, I have industry specific demographics that I need to know about my client, her type of vehicle, the age of the vehicle, the number of vehicles in the household. All right. And then with the demographics that we just collected, the information that I just showed you guys, what does this actually tell us? Now, probably went by too fast, but Amanda works nights and weekends. She has 3 kids. All right. She needs her cars at nights and she needs them at weekends to get to work. That is something that I need to know about Amanda as a auto repair shop and creating this avatar. She has 3 kids and a household income of $60,000, which means she doesn't have spare cash to throw around. So are my prices okay for her? Or is that going to work for her? You know what I mean? And also about the 2019 Sienna. Do I have the parts in stock to be able to service her vehicle? Or am I always going to have to order them in, which goes against what she needs? She needs fast service. So if I'm having to order the parts all the time, and does that make sense to everybody? Okay. her missions and objectives. And I've said it a couple of times already, but Amanda wants trusted service fast. Now, this is still a character that I'm creating. I'm just getting more deeper into her missions, objectives. The demographics is something that you can come up with easily on your own, but now you have to really get into things that she wants and ways that she feels. All right. She wants trusted service fast. And I put fast up real big because that's what she really needs, especially with 3 kids, working nights and weekends. Everything is go, go, go for her. All right. What's important to her? Values. She needs trust and ease. A trip to the repair shop shouldn't stress out. She's already stressed. Any moms in here know that you have stress constantly, especially with kids running around. You don't need that added stress. All right. Okay, we get into challenging pain points. I already started to talk about some of those challenges, but one that I thought would be really good for her is if she has brought her car into my shop, is there any way that I could make it to where while she's waiting, we could do something to entertain her children? Because there's nothing worse for Amanda than having to get the car repaired and sitting in our lobby with a single television on with the news playing while her kids are running amok. And she's like, when is my car going to be done? Do I have a park nearby that I could recommend her to be able to go to? Any fast food restaurants? Any do we even have like a little area for kids to be able to play in with a couple of toys or something like that? Is that something that we could accommodate for Amanda? You know, it starts to make you think as a business owner as you're creating this avatar. Pain points. Amanda's always in mom mode, answering questions from either her husband, because she is married, her kids, list of demands, laundry, all of this stuff, on top of the fact that she does work part-time. All right. What can we do to help her? Take the wheel at the repair shop and make it to where she can drop her vehicle off and not have to worry about a whole bunch of questions and anything extra that comes with it. All right, and now you start to think of objections. As you're creating this character, you start thinking to yourself, all right, Amanda has all of this going on. From what you know about her life, what can be the possible objections that she's going to give you right up front? Now, we know that her income, $60,000, doesn't allow a lot of spare cash around. So that's going to be one of the first things that she's going to bring up. I can't afford this. Now, what do you have to combat or ease that objection right up front before she even says anything? Is there a way that you could offer a discount because you already ordered the parts in, so you don't have to pay for shipping? What can you do to ease that concern before she even brings up that objection? You know, it makes you start thinking about that, jotting stuff down like that to where you're already ready for these objections before they even come up. All right. And we brought up, do we stock those parts up for common folks? What I would do as a auto repair person is I would look up that Toyota Sienna, and I would research what common faults actually occur very often in that vehicle. Is there a way that I can have the parts or whatever I need to be able to fix them? Because I know eventually that car is going to come in for that issue. All right. The role in purchase. One of the hardest things, whether B2B or B2C, for those that don't know, B2B is business to business, B2C is business to customer. One of the hardest things is getting in front of the person who is making the purchasing decisions. That's one of the hardest things to do. All right. In families, typically the woman is the person who makes the final decision in purchasing. That's just a fact. You know, in businesses, it's really hard to get past the receptionist in order to get to the purchasing agent or the owner of the company in small business examples. So Amanda just happens to be the primary decision maker in the home. You know, when it comes to car repairs, she always discusses with her husband because he has a little bit of auto mechanics and could assess it and make sure she's not being taken advantage of. That's just more detail that I add into, because that is typically the case in situations like this, you know? All right, and more things to consider. Current sources of insight. Basically, where does your ideal client get their information from? Where do they spend the most time? Now, I'll tell you right now, every one of your clients owns one of these. They spend maybe 80 to, I'm gonna say 90% of their day in front of one of these. That's where 90% of the information that they consume come from. This little mobile device right here, all right? So you think of what popular programs or products are they already using, all right? And I ask you these questions, but after I finish this part, I'm gonna actually show you where to get this information from, all right? Books and magazines does Amanda read? Blogs, podcasts? What organizations does she support, or events that she attends? What authority figures does she pay attention to or most, or follow or subscribe? You know, questions like this, you give this ideal client, give them more life, start giving them more attributes. All right. Now we start talking about obstacles. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the most common complaints that Amanda would have, or people like Amanda, but I shouldn't have put people like Amanda, because we're talking about Amanda, not people like her. So that's a mistake on my end. What hesitation does she have? I mean, your client has had the problem that they've had for a very long time. Why do they hesitate to fix it? Why haven't they fixed this problem? Is there not a product on the market that suits their needs? Or is there a product that exists, but they still haven't made that purchase? Why? That's very important to know, because that's a void right there that you can fill with your product or service. So when asking these questions, I like to use something called the no one else would method, which means that your avatar that you're creating does things that no one else would do. For instance, Amanda would read the Housewives magazine, but no one else would. No other demographic outside of Amanda's personality would do this, which helps you create even a more specific avatar. Does that make sense to everyone? So your avatar does this, but no one else does. If you're marketing to construction workers, if Amanda was a construction worker, Amanda reads the Construction Weekly magazine, but no one else would. No one else has any business reading it or any reason to read it. You know, so now you start to get, now you can actually grab that magazine up yourself and read and see what kind of content Amanda is consuming as a construction worker. I just wanted to go in more into that. I didn't want to just pass that slide up because it's very important. All right, now, how do you get this information? How do you get this information about Amanda? That is where I think a lot of people get stuck at, because I'm pretty sure customer avatar, this isn't the first time that you guys heard this term mentioned. And people give classes on it, people talk about it, but they never talk about how to get this information to create that ideal client. first tool that I love using, I absolutely love using social media, Facebook groups. I love, I do business consulting, and my favorite place to go are Facebook groups. And I literally, if you guys follow me on social media, the content that I create is literally because I go into Facebook groups of people building businesses, and I literally sit there and read the questions that they ask. And instead of answering that question in the group, I go and make a 2-minute video answering their question and then post it up. So you're literally answering your ideal client's question. You're not guessing, or I wonder if they want to know this. No, that person, Amanda, literally asked that question. And I just put that content in front of her and became an industry expert in her eyes. She feels like I understand it. How did you know I asked that question? You know, Instagram influencers. That's why when you create your avatar, you look at people that your avatar follows, because now you can follow that person and see what they're doing to gain Amanda's attention. Amazon, my second favorite. And the reason why is because you already identify what kind of books or what kind of purchases they make, you know, because you know what kind of magazines they read, you know your avatar. So now let's find out what kind of things that she buys, and go look up similar items and find out what people's complaints are about those items. Because now that's also another opportunity for you. We can go with let's stay with the car one. Well, that won't work for that. We'll go back to my lip gloss in the beginning. Client with the lip gloss. Other people are selling lip gloss on Amazon, and she goes and looks at her competitors and she checks out those reviews. And people are talking about how the lip gloss melts easily or how it falls apart. The packaging is horrible. Well, now, as a lip gloss owning company, I know this is a problem that Amanda is having as a consumer of lip gloss. So now this is something that I can fix in my business. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, cool. YouTube, another very powerful. You know who their influencers are that they follow. You know the people that they pay attention and listen to. Subscribe to those channels. Look at the comment section. I do the same thing that I do with Facebook groups. I find their complaints, or I find their issues, and I go and make content. You can write a blog. You could post a video up answering those specific questions. Amanda is in that comment section, spilling all her complaints out, spilling all her thoughts out. And it's up to you to find Amanda's comment in there and go answer her question. And we talked about this in the beginning, but this is the most direct and best way to do it. Directly from the customer's mouth, surveys. And I personally don't understand why a lot of business owners do not do more surveys. This is it's the simplest and most direct way. You can't misconstrue it. You can't misunderstand it. Your client or a customer told you specifically, this is what I want. This is what you're not doing for me. This is what you're doing great. They're telling you. As a matter of fact, after I finish this, hopefully most of you guys will participate, but I'll send out a survey to y'all asking how I did in this or what you thought about this course, because that feedback actually makes sense. And now I know for the next event like this, I know what I need to do better or what I need to do more of or what I need to omit, because nothing's more valuable than Amanda telling me exactly what she wants. All right, so if you can do surveys, do them. But if you can't do surveys, don't wait for a survey in order to start making your avatar. Use these other methods here. Okay, so I tried to make this as quick as possible because we're all about business owners and time is money. So I'm going to thank you all for being here. And I'm gonna open the floor up to any questions that anyone has, because I love question and answer time, because I know I don't always cover everything in my presentations. And the questions that are asked, there's no dumb questions. If you have a question, I'm pretty sure that everyone can benefit from you asking a question and we finding an answer. So I'll open the floor up now. You can unmute yourself and go ahead, go for it.
Hey, RJ, I have a question.
Go for it, Jill.
So with the demographic, if our avatar is like an age range of 30 to, 50-year-olds, then how do we narrow down that avatar?
That's actually a very good question, but you want to be as specific as possible. I would say find the mid-range.
Okay.
I would say meet right in the middle and find the mid-range and go with that.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, I also have a question.
Go for it.
So when it comes to pricing, I make jewelry, so it's like all ages. How do I know what price range is correct for my audience or my customers?
Great question. Great question. What I would say is what you know about Amanda, you know she has 3 kids. You know that does she rent? Yes, she rents. You know what area she stays in. You know, I would take all of that into consideration. Go deep into your character. Look at her demographic. My character was in Tacoma, Washington. She has 3 children, which means she probably is running at a 4-bedroom apartment, $60,000 a year. So she's probably paying somewhere near $1,600 a month for this apartment, figuring all of the utilities in that area. That's why you get so deep into it. You know, she has 2 cars, so she knows she's paying insurance on both of them. And then you can sit there and start to think, okay, this is how much that Amanda has left over for the month, right?
So
that'll give you a price range.
Thank you.
Really quick, just to add to what she was saying. So could we go as far as so let's say we ultimately gather up all that data, as far as her cost of living, her expenses, and everything, and then we figure out what that last amount of money that they have for the month is, right? Mm-hmm. So then I would assume, because they have so much left over, would it behoove us to find a way to make it affordable, mm-hmm. as in not a flat fee? We can think in terms of, okay, well, actually, if you purchase this, we can actually have you doing this on a monthly basis, kind of like a subscription does, right? So that way it becomes from this large number to this smaller number that they can add into their monthly expenses, therefore making it more affordable.
There you go.
Would that be, yeah, okay.
Yes, yes. And one thing that I love to do, and thank you for adding that, because that makes me think of something else. One thing that I like to do is over deliver. Mm-hmm. Over deliver, we do this, all right, but Amanda still has to drive around. She has to she dropped her car off at 12. She still has to pick her kids up at 2 o'clock from school. You know what? We'll give you, after you subscribe to our mailing list, we'll give you $30 in Uber Lyft while you're doing business with us, so that solves that problem for her, or you think of different ways. A lot of car auto places do every 6 months you get a free oil change. Over deliver. So if you over deliver, they always feel like they're getting more out of the deal.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, no, and actually I'm glad you bring that up, because that's a real key example of like, let's say if you go to a Tesla dealership and you're getting your Tesla serviced, right? They will not sometimes they'll give you that Uber card, but sometimes they'll actually recommend restaurants and places to go, and they will give you a higher model of car that you already have. So now you start thinking, man, I kind of like this car now too. So they're kind of knocking out two birds with one stone. But yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. So yeah, it's definitely a great business practice for sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody else got any questions?
I don't have a question. I got more of a observation. I hear something that you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm big on the whole marketing kick, but when you breaking down this whole avatar customer thing, this whole piece right here, bro, it's like truthfully, like it's an amazing situation, right? And I'm not just saying it because I know you. I'm saying it because it truly makes sense, you know, and because I'm looking at it from a gamer's perspective. It's like truly building a profile for this person that you're looking for. To break down the age, the demographics, like we talk about marketing, the demographics, geographics, but to really identify this person that you want, you know, like what is their budget? And that gives a person a clear perspective on how to truly approach this person. And so by you saying what we should do, it gives me a broader perspective of who my clientele is.
Mm-hmm.
And to create that character, I've never thought about creating a character like that. So to be able to do it, because if I was playing a video game, I'm putting the hair, I'm putting the glasses on, they got the shirt on and the shoes, and they got the chain, all of these different things. And so to create that, it's more feasible. It makes more realistic sense. And it actually gives you a person to identify.
Yes.
And to put the name on the person, because I was quick to say, my demographic is African-American males ages 13 to 24. But for you to say, no, his name is Jonathan, and I think that's brilliant, bro.
And also, I forgot to say, one of the most important things, give them a face. Go Google and pull a picture of a person. Give that person a face. Like really put a face on this person. Make this a real person. Give them hopes, give them pain, give them issues that they go through. Like really create this person. You know what I mean? The more life that you give that person, the more that you can relate and empathize with this person. The better you'll be at being able to, when you run into a real life Amanda, you will be able to tell Amanda everything that's in her head before she even opens her mouth. You know what I mean? And that's every potential client is pre-built to tell you no before you approach them. Nobody wants to spend money. You know what I mean? That is a natural mindset that's implanted in us automatically. And they have a little voice in their head. As soon as you approach them, they're coming up with 5 objections before you even introduce yourself. They're coming up with 5 objections in their head, excuses, objections, and they have them loaded up. But you built this avatar and you know that that person matches your client. So every objection that they have, you already have the answer for. And that is the beautiful part of creating that avatar, is because you know them so well that there's nothing that they can say to really, it would have to boil down to them at the end of this minute, just getting mad at you and saying, I just don't want to talk to you. Because it's not, I can't afford it. No, I know how much you make and I know the price range that's perfect for you. No, my kids are doing it. I already have a play area for your kids to hang out at. They're at the end of the day, the only thing that can stop this sale for this auto repair guy is she just gets mad and says, I just don't want to be bothered with you. I just leave me alone. Because every objection she had has already been dealt with before you guys already talked. What's up, Mom?
So what if it winds up being a guy, so you can make more than one avatar?
Yes. Yes, I would suggest 3 avatars for your business. And one of those avatars, I would suggest being the client that you would least want to deal with. I would suggest making an avatar that is the complete opposite of Amanda. Because when you approach that avatar, you want to know right off the bat, I'm wasting my time, because that's exactly what Amanda will say. Amanda's friend, Martin, I'm gonna give him a name. I approach him and he shows all the signs and responds just the way my avatar Martin would. I can stop that conversation right there. Not wasting my time. Because I already created an avatar for you and I know exactly where this is going. Let me go find the Jessica. Okay?
I do have one question.
Go for it.
Most entrepreneurs, most business owners, especially those of us that are just starting in the business world, we have an idea, because a lot of people don't like to take these details into consideration. You know, like not putting it on the paper. You know, people just got it in, or I know what I want, or, you know, I know exactly what type of person that I want to run into. It's a thought process. So we feel like if it's in our mind, then we're good. Could you help us understand, like, what are some of the downfalls to a person not taking this information that you're sharing to detail out the person if they're really trying to build a relationship? What are some of the defaults that come from a person not being as descriptive and detailed?
Outstanding. Great question. I would love to speak on that. So one of the major downfalls is the fact that your avatar is a real person. So what do real people do? Change constantly. You don't write that down, you're gonna miss those changes. New trends come up. Facebook right now is one of the things that I mentioned. How long is Facebook gonna last? Am I still gonna be able to find Amanda in Facebook groups? Or is Amanda gonna move over to a new social media? And I'm supposed to remember that? No, I programmed myself to remember Amanda. So if I don't write this down and I'm not constantly updating Amanda and her personality and her trends and her habits, you know what I mean? Also, Amanda is gonna have a second avatar, because after Amanda came and visited me, now I have to create Amanda version 2.0, because she got her car fixed and now I need her to come back for other services. So she needs a whole nother avatar again, because she's already, the first Amanda's already been served. Now I need to talk about post my initial service Amanda. I'm supposed to remember all of that? It's not gonna happen. So not doing this and putting it on paper and following this system is it's so suicidal to the success of your marketing plan. Does that answer your question? Cool. Anybody else got any questions? Okay. Well, I thank all of you for being here today. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, this is our first YBMW Pro Entity collaboration virtual workshop. I look forward to doing way more of these. And I just really appreciate you guys all being here. And I hope that you were able to get a ton of value from this, and it was something that was worth your time, you know?